reflect on any of the existing English activities delivered in your school. Which is the most popular with your students? What do they like the most? Have a minute to think and then share your ideas in the chat box. Board games, yeah. I think especially in my experience in schools in Hong Kong compared to other places, students here really enjoy board games and teaching you about board games that you aren't familiar with as well. Talent shows, festival activities. Ooh, nice. I like these. Story time. Yeah, a really good one. Anything that they can relax maybe in recess, holiday related. Yeah, festivals, e-games, definitely. Students of all ages at the moment like e-games. Great, thank you. So it's nice to start the session with thinking about your students, what it is that they find really engaging, what gets them enthused to join your activities outside of the classroom. So, the objectives of today's session, first, we will discuss what informal learning is and its best benefits for students' language development. Then we will share some strategies and resources that can be implemented to extend English language learning beyond just an academic subject, which many students initially see it as. So, regular exposure to English significantly impacts language learning in several ways. And here are some key findings from studies on this topic. So, firstly, increased vocabulary acquisition. Learners exposed to English through various media, books, movies, conversations tend to acquire vocabulary more rapidly compared to those with limited exposure. Improved listening skills. Continuous listening to English speakers helps learners recognize pronunciation, intonation, and natural speech patterns, which enhances their overall comprehension. It enhances their speaking proficiency overall. Through regular interaction in English environment, students foster confidence and fluency, and learners engage in real life conversations, which aids in practicing their spoken language. It provides contextual cultural understanding to the language as well. So, exposure to English language media and a variety of English speakers provides insights into cultural nuances, any idiomatic expressions, contextual usage of the language, and this is crucial for effective communication. It generally increases motivation and engagement as learners see practical applications of their skills in everyday life, which boosts their desire to learn. And in turn, all of this can improve their academic performance. So, studies indicate that students with regular exposure to English often perform better in academic settings, particularly in reading, writing, and oral assessments. So, to increase your students' exposure to English, we can boost activities and the environment outside of the classroom through informal learning. But what is informal learning? So, informal learning is all types of daily activities which enable the students to learn in an unintentional way. It's recognized as a key factor in determining the quality of foreign language education. So, in this context, we will look at extracurricular activities, which are essential for teaching a foreign language, and they can be viewed as a component of informal learning. And studies relate the effectiveness of extracurricular activities on learners' development. So, the main highlights are academic success, motivation levels, and students' general attitude towards learning English. They can demonstrate a positive correlation between participation in extracurricular activities and that academic achievement that you would like to see in your students. So at Chatteris, we categorize the types of informal learning into four different boxes. So you can deliver structured activities on a regular basis with a specific student target or group. We have unstructured activities, which are simple mingling with students on a more informal day-to-day basis. Hosting school-wide events for special themes, days, or occasions. And finally, enhancing the physical environment of your school. So this webinar will outline the benefits of each and offer some examples that you can implement in your school to benefit your students. To start with, we will look at structured activities. Structured activities occur in school on a regular basis with a routine theme or structure, and they can have recurring student groups or be open to a varied group of students that might pop in, not necessarily joining every single week, or it can be more formal. You have the same set of students that join on a regular basis. Structured activities offer practical, targeted use of language, and they focus on specific vocabulary expansion. They may develop peer interaction or teamwork through this group environment. It provides an opportunity for cultural exchange, and it gives students to tell you what they are interested in and provides an opportunity for interest-driven learning from the students or from your own interests as well, and bringing that to the students. Some examples of structured activities are drama clubs or dance clubs. So they can be theme clubs that you deliver on a regular basis, but it could be also a more general English club, which can include a variety of activities for students each week. These examples may have a specific class of students that are signed up and join on a weekly basis, or the club can be more of a drop-in style where students know when they can come. For example, on a Friday afternoon, they know that they can come and see you for an English club. Another popular structured activity is an English cafe that is regularly open to all students at the school to participate in English games, and you will provide snacks and drinks to incentivize them to get involved as well. And a few tips for running your structured activities. To most effectively run these activities, it is recommended to stick to a regular venue and schedule. Your students need to know exactly where to join your club and when the club runs. To attract students, you can either share your interest with them and show them what you are passionate about. This gets your students really excited when they see that you are interested in the activities yourself, or you can learn their interests and enjoy it with them. Students love teaching us about things as well, so you can open the floor for them to bring their interests and run this on a regular basis. It's important to consistently promote your activities through posters, word of mouth among campus, and school announcements. This way you can continuously attract a wide and large student audience to sustain the activity over the academic year or a semester, whatever your goal may be. Sometimes students need a little extra encouragement to join activities outside of the classroom. Implementing an incentive scheme to get the students through the door is a really easy way to get them there. And then once they are through the door and having fun, they're more likely to keep joining on a regular basis. It is often easy to overlook the impact that these non-academic learning activities can have on your students, particularly for those who might not usually perform as well in your standard formal classroom learning environment. So I will share some data that we gathered from 18 primary 3 students, so around 9 years old. These students participated in 15 one-hour drama club sessions, and they completed pre- and post-course surveys. And they found that after the 15 sessions, 48% of students had reduced their fear of making mistakes when speaking English. 53% of students increased their enjoyment learning English, and 53% of the students felt more confident speaking with English speakers. So this again just provides some more solid data to demonstrate the benefit of these extracurricular informal learning environments that we provide in school for our students. The second category is unstructured activities, and these take the form of informal, spontaneous use of language outside of the classroom. So simply interacting with students in a casual manner at recess, on the playground, and in the corridors. It provides a contextual use of language learning, so students can see the conversational element to learning a language, learning English, and it can motivate them to want to learn more, to be able to say more to you on the playground while you're playing basketball. You're meeting students in a safe learning environment and fostering that informal relationship with them, which then in turn you can take into the classroom and build a solid relationship with your students. It allows you to interact with students that might be more reluctant to join a structured English club. And from these informal interactions, you can build a relationship with them and you can see them gain confidence and maybe sign up to your English club in semester 2, for example. Using a prop initially can help to facilitate initial conversations with students. This can be card games, items for competitions. Maybe you want to take a skipping rope into the playground and see how many skipping ropes they can do in a minute, or get one of the big ones and get many students involved, or any other physical object that can help you to start a conversation with your students. So this game is called Spot It. It uses simple picture cards to generate a competitive small group game. Generally, it can be applicable for all ages and tailored to students' proficiency, interests, or any vocabulary that aligns with the current curriculum inside the classroom as well. The aim of the game is for each student to put down a card and quickly name the one item that the two cards have in common. So it's really simple, really fast paced. You can play it in a 10-minute recess, just meeting the students in their classroom while they're having a break between lessons. School-wide events we see are very common in many different schools, and here are some examples that I've seen that students really engage with. So English fun fairs can align with your general theme for the school year, month, or maybe a semester. For example, it could be environment and sustainability, values education, healthy lifestyle, and they can be participated by every student in the school over a whole day or 1 week, where students join in different slots for their year groups or their classes, for example. You could develop a skills-based workshop and deliver it to a whole year level. For example, students could participate in small group challenges to develop their problem solving or communication skills. And finally, you could run a sports workshop and deliver the instructions in English. So when there is a kind of third theme or a third focus that the students are familiar with, sometimes they forget that they are speaking English at all. They are so invested in the sports that in the photo you can see students enjoying a relaxing yoga workshop that was delivered in English. So while I recognise that teachers are often busy and don't have time in their schedule to run regular recess, lunchtime, or after school activities, they are obviously extremely beneficial to students' language development. But increasing students' exposure to English through the physical environment can also have an impact on a wide range of students. And it builds a routine of students interacting with English on a regular basis. So I will provide some examples that are ways that you can really easily impact your students outside of the classroom without the need for you to deliver the activity in person between lessons or after school. So firstly, Turning your English board into an interactive language display can be really easy. You probably already have an English board at your school, but adding a few additional elements that make the students interact with this through vocabulary words, expressions, some student-centered content, including challenges, questions, or puzzles to make sure that students then interact and there's an extra task that they have to complete on or around the board. By regularly updating these, you keep the environment dynamic and engaging and means that the student revisit the board maybe on a monthly basis, for example. So you could create a monthly student vote where you can interact with students through the English display and get to know them better. Each month could be a different question that you poll the students about and later share the results with the whole school. So you're really garnering the whole school's attention on your English display. And then afterwards, you can share the results. So on average, your students at the school sleep for 3 hours a night, 5 hours a night. Secondly, many schools already have signs and bulletins around the campus in the schools and the students' first language. So adding English to these can really reinforce daily use of the informal learning environment. This can include any directional signs, labels for classrooms, announcements, anything that you see around the school now that is in another language, just adding an English element to it. Covering your classroom, your school means that students are always interacting with English while they're walking through the school campus every day. English corners are a really easy way to create a dedicated space filled with English books, magazines, and multimedia. We said at the start that students these days love e-games, so making maybe an area a day that they can come and use iPads. You might be there, or there will be someone else, maybe English ambassadors, that can run some activities as well. The area can include comfortable seats for students to read, study, and just really encourage them to have a space at the school that they can immerse themselves in English literature or other media as well. It can be as small as an area of a classroom, or if you have the space, a whole separate room dedicated purely to your English learning environment. It also provides a space that you can deliver your structured activities, and students know that that's the point that they can go to every week and they can join your activities. So every month at Chatteris, we develop English craft packs that school can purchase at no profit to us, and each pack comes with a PowerPoint, an English language activity element, a worksheet, and craft instructions and all the materials that are required to complete the activity. One pack contains the resources for 35 students. So you can scan the QR code to look at all of the craft pack options in full and place an order. These are a variety of activities on different themes each month, sometimes related to festivals or bigger themes like DIY flowers, friendship bracelets, and each of them will have an English language element that the students have to complete in order to facilitate the activity as well. Last year, we developed a new initiative called the Summer Level Up Learning Programme. And we are inviting applicants for this coming June, July, and August 2025 as well. So it's an opportunity to have a one-off event at your school. All of the workshops are 2 hours in length and can cater to between 60 to 120 students. And the activities develop students' leadership, drama, reading, and collaboration skills. You can use this opportunity to serve as a fun post-exam activity or a bridging program for incoming students. And this year, we have the opportunity to deliver this program for free in schools across Hong Kong as well. So you can scan the QR code and access the online application form. We are accepting applicants until the 28th of April. So at the start, I asked for your input of existing programs and activities that you have at your school. So now I want you to think a little bit about your students' interests and needs and reflect on any of the activities presented that you think you could implement in your school environment or any additional activities that maybe fit into the four categories of informal learning that was shared. So you can write your responses in the chat box. What new activity do you want to implement in your school? Interactive boards are a great one. At first, students might not understand what they are expected to do, how they can get involved with the activities. So if you would like to start the kind of student voting, the polling of your students, initially you can take a secondary board, walk around the school, present it to the students at recess in their classroom, and from that point instruct them in future months that that's how they can get involved. They can go to the English board directly, write their answers, give them a space to respond to you, collate them at the end of the month, maybe in morning sharing or assembly on campus TV. You can start to promote the activity wider by sharing the responses, get students involved, and they will like to see what other students have to say, what habits other people keep, what they have for lunch, what they do at the weekend, and start to see on average what your student demographic really likes. Unstructured activities can be absolutely anything. I would start in the playground, see what your students do at recess anyway. If you know that they already have things that they are interested in, is there a way that you can add English language elements? If they're all on the playground playing basketball already, maybe you can get a mini kind of basketball game with two hoops, ask them some questions and have true or false responses. Two basketball hoops, one of them is true, one of them is false. So there's an added kind of English language element. They have to answer the question. You could ask them some follow-up questions to expand on why they think it's true, why they think it's false. But really, by having that game that they are already interested in, they're going to approach you, they will see a physical prop, they will come up to you and wonder what you're doing on the playground, and then you can get them speaking English. Other ideas might be some mini challenge games. So you can take a 1 minute timer and ask your questions. How many X can you do in a minute? How many jumping jacks can you do in a minute? You can ask them to do some word games. Can they think of fruit starting with every letter of the alphabet? In a minute, how many can they get through in the alphabet? Students might initially be reluctant to approach you at recess or join your games. Do you think that this is a challenge that you see in your school already? Maybe there are English activities that are happening at your school. Why is it that you think your students are reluctant to join? What challenges do you face? Yeah, I think this is a really common challenge, Mariana. Older students, definitely the senior forms in secondary, they might see them as childish. They are also really busy focusing on exams and next steps. I have seen that sometimes aligning with their next steps can get them interested. Is it that they are interested in and focused on going to university or their next steps in their career? You can start to bring these into your extracurricular activities. Maybe do some CV workshops or little interview kind of help sessions. Get your students to bring their struggles, what they're focusing on right now to you, and develop workshops that are around what they are focused on, because a lot of the times these students are have a busy schedule, have a lot on their plate, so see how you can help them with what they are struggling with at the moment. Any kind of career workshops, CV, interview skills, actually these types of themes can see a lot more traction with the older students. Students might be worried that they are embarrassed if they don't understand the game rules or instructions. A general lack of confidence, definitely. Having some English ambassadors can really help with this. So there's another student with you to kind of be a middle ground between you and the student that is a bit more reluctant, lacks in confidence to get involved. And they can facilitate that, explaining of instructions, and seeing how the game operates in practice as well, getting them to observe initially, and then through kind of seeing how the game works with some other students participating. Then students usually get involved if they see other students having fun. All right, great. Thank you all for your engagement. It's really nice to learn about what your students are interested in as well and what you enjoy delivering in your school. So before we end, there is a QR code on the screen. So we really want your feedback on these webinars as we develop them further in the future. So please scan the QR code and fill out the brief form to share your feedback. And you can also request an attendance certificate on the form as well. So I'll just leave this slide up for a couple more minutes. And if you have any other questions, then I can stay behind to answer them as well. Feel free to pop them in the chat box or unmute yourself.